Castaways of Solitude Island. The small charter plane rattled as it hit another pocket of turbulence. Sarah gripped the armrests, her knuckles whitening, while David glanced at her with a half-smile. "Relax," he said, "these little planes are tougher than they look." Sarah didn't respond, her eyes glued to the storm clouds outside. The pilot's voice crackled through the intercom. "Folks, this storm's worse than expected. We're going to try and go around it, but hang on." Before the passengers could prepare, a sudden jolt threw them forward. The right engine sputtered and burst into flames. Panic surged as the plane tilted sharply downward. "Brace," the pilot shouted. The next few moments were chaos. Screams, the deafening roar of wind, and the shattering impact as the plane hit water. Chapter 1: Stranded. Sarah woke coughing, her lungs burning from seawater. She was lying on a sandy shore, waves lapping at her legs. The wreckage of the plane was scattered along the beach, pieces of metal jutting out like broken bones. "David," she called, her voice hoarse. She stumbled to her feet, scanning the shoreline. A figure lay a few meters away, unmoving. She rushed over and shook him. "David, wake up." With a groan, he stirred, blinking against the sunlight. "Sarah? What happened?" "The plane, we crashed. We're alive, but I don't see anyone else." David sat up, wincing. A cut on his forehead dripped blood onto his shirt. "The others, did anyone else make it?" They searched the immediate area, but found no other survivors. The realization hit them like a wave, they were alone. Chapter 2: The Island. The island was lush and green, surrounded by rocky cliffs. As they explored, they found fresh water in a small stream and built a makeshift shelter using driftwood and leaves. Despite their survival skills, the island wasn't as idyllic as it seemed. Strange noises echoed at night, the howls of unseen animals. The jungle felt alive, almost watchful. "Did you hear that?" Sarah whispered one evening, clutching a sharpened stick they had fashioned as a weapon. David nodded, scanning the dark trees. "We're not alone here." Chapter 3: The Cave. One day, while searching for food, they stumbled upon a cave entrance, hidden behind a waterfall. Inside, they found strange carvings on the walls, symbols and figures depicting people and boats. "This means someone lived here," Sarah said, tracing the carvings. "Or still does," David replied grimly. The deeper they ventured, the more unsettling the cave became. They found remnants of old tools and bones, arranged in ritualistic patterns. "We should leave," Sarah whispered, but as they turned to go, a low growl echoed behind them. Chapter 4: Survival. The growling belonged to a massive predator, something resembling a hybrid of a wolf and a cat. They barely escaped, sprinting back to the safety of their camp. After the encounter, they fortified their shelter, setting traps and keeping a fire burning at all times. Their relationship deepened as they worked together to survive, learning each other's strengths and fears. David, despite his initial bravado, admitted he wasn't as fearless as he seemed. Sarah, who had always considered herself timid, found courage in protecting them both. Chapter 5: The Signal. Weeks passed, and hope dwindled. One morning, Sarah spotted something glinting on the horizon, a ship. They scrambled to light a signal fire, piling on leaves to create smoke. But the ship didn't change course. "We need something bigger," David said. They scavenged flares from the wreckage and climbed the tallest cliff. As night fell, they fired the flares into the sky, their bright arcs piercing the darkness. Chapter 6: Rescue. The ship noticed the signal. Hours later, a small rescue boat reached the island. Sarah and David were overwhelmed with relief as they boarded, leaving the island behind. Though they survived, the experience changed them. The island's mysteries remained unsolved, but they carried its lessons with them, a bond forged in survival and the realization that even in isolation, hope could prevail.